I'm Allison with Mission 43 Education, and today we're here to learn a little bit more about the Project Management Professional Certification. The PMP certification is a highly sought-after credential in employers and industries across Idaho. I'm going to sit down with the experts that are going to talk about the path to certification and the employment afterwards. This is the Mission 43 Education Discovery Series. I'm here with Lucian Lett. Lucian went through our very first project management professional course when we started it with Mission 43 in 2021. Since then, Lucian has had some success from earning his PMP, and he is the senior project manager, or a senior project manager at Leidos here in Boise. Lucian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I just really appreciate you taking time out of your super busy schedule. You're a Leaders Fellow. You've done all the things. Lucian, your prior service, what branch of service were you in?
I was in the Air Force.
Air Force, what did you do?
I was a weapons troop on the A-10.
Weapons troop on the A-10, and then you transitioned not too long ago, right?
I worked for HP right after, well, I was still in the Guard when I worked for HP, and I did IT stuff for them for quite some time. And then once the PMP came open, I had been in a role as in the Agile world. I was a product owner. So I ran a team of engineers. And so when the opportunity came, I jumped on it, and here I am.
Yes, and you actually went through, again, our very first project management course, and that was when it was separated into 2 different weekends. So you did a Saturday, a Sunday, you came back the next weekend and did Saturday, Sunday. Pretty long days, right?
Yeah.
But what was that spark that got you into taking our course specifically?
I had looked at my aspects in my current role, and I kind of run out of runway. This was kind of where my career progression stopped. So I thought, well, I have experience as a project manager. I just don't have my PMP, and there's all of these openings for PMP certified project managers to come over and work on my same team, just in a different role. So, and when this originally happened, we were in the middle of transitioning from one contract company to Leidos, and I was being hired, and I used this as leverage in my negotiations. Like, hey, I'm enrolled in a PMP course. I'm looking to add that to my certificates, and expand my career here. And I got a pretty sizable raise to come on with that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how was the experience of going through the PMP course?
I had a great time. A lot of it kind of intertwined with what I currently did, and I'd had project management experience, just not top to bottom. In some of this IT world, I didn't have all of that ordering hardware or procurement stuff. All I did was manage it getting delivered and so on and so forth. So now I get to see the whole aspect, and I got to learn some of the stuff which I use today in my current role that I didn't know prior to going through the course. So it's helped a whole lot.
Does your military experience, just super curious, does your military experience relate to anything you do now?
Not really. When I was a contractor, it did. When I worked for the Air Force overseas, I did a lot of project management as a program manager. So yeah, but my initial military experience, leading a couple guys in the back shop, that didn't really do a whole lot.
Well, a lot of military project management, true project management experience, does actually come from program management, which in the PMI world, you and I know is now completely different. Right. Program and project management are not the same.
Yeah.
So the military, different, translation, things change up there.
Yeah.
Well, what has your journey been like ever since earning the PMP into where you are now?
So I got my PMP, I took it in like October, I think, and it kind of, I passed it around. It was added all my stuff from work, and I said, I'm interested in becoming a project manager. Maybe I can shadow a project manager and start to learn what they actually do on their side of the house. And the deputy director called me and said, look, I have some career opportunities that you might be interested in. Would you entertain an interview? So I said yes, and we went back and forth because I was running a project for them as a product owner, a very large project. So they waited until I finished with that, and then I got another sizable raise to move to that team. So it's been great.
Well, I know money isn't everything,
no.
Right? Money, happiness, all that. But I feel like PMP does contribute to that, and hopefully in your experience it has. Can you share anything about the PMP specifically, if you were talking with hiring managers, if you use that for leverage to earn a higher salary?
Yeah, and it depends on your experience a lot as well, which goes into a lot of the places want a PMP and a master's to, progress further on. And I mean, in my world, you can go from being a senior project manager to being an account manager to being a portfolio manager, and that just keeps going. And you have to have that PMP to open those doors. And with the knowledge you gain from that, it's up to you how far you want to take it. I always say it's how much you really want to work. So those guys, my portfolio manager, I'll get on late at night and he's on the East Coast and he's on at 8, 9 o'clock, but that's his deal. He wants to be that portfolio manager and that's his, realm, and he enjoys it. And I enjoy where I am currently and look forward to where it can go. So
yeah, that's awesome. I know you went through, again, the PMP course has changed quite a bit, and your feedback helped with that, actually, pushing it together instead of separating it. But if you were talking to a member or someone that's going to be transitioning from the military and knowing what the PMP was, what it has done for you, what advice would you give them?
I would say jump on it. There's no reason not to get it, especially with the help of Mission 43. I mean, there's no reason not to get your PMP. It's just going to advance your career, we got to be honest. If your career advances a lot of times, so does your well-being, and your happiness. So, and it's worked that ways for me. So I can't complain at all. All I can do is say thank you. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being willing to join us in this crazy journey and building a new program and providing all the feedback and everything that you do to support us. And thanks for sharing a little bit of insight into what the course was like for you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.